Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today starting the Descend Beyond Update 2 Dead by Daylight, and we are going for the Every Last Drop achievement. This is to fully deplete 30 items. This one's going to be done from the Survivor side. You can use anyone for this, however, I highly recommend using the update's new character. So we are going to use Felix. Make sure you grab him from the DLC pack or from the in-game shop. The reason I recommend using him is he's going to have a very useful perk for this, which is going to be Built to Last, which is going to allow you to recharge your items. In addition to that, if you happen to have it available to you, I highly recommend Plunderer's Instinct as a good secondary option. Once you are finished setting your perks, I also highly recommend taking an item into the game. So the best candidates for this achievement are going to be the flashlight as well as the map. If you don't have those, a toolbox is also going to be a pretty good option. You can grab these from the normal level up system in the Blood Web, so whatever you have, just make sure you take into the game with you. Once you start up the game, my best advice is to try to locate the basement right away. Having Plunderer's Instinct will allow you to see all of the chests on the map, which should allow you to find the basement super duper quickly, since every basement should have a chest in there. So the reason I recommend heading to the basement right away is it's going to be a pretty safe place to hunker down super early into the game. Also, there's going to be a ton of lockers in here, which is going to be pertinent to Felix's Built to Last perk. And the reason I recommend using a flashlight or a map for this is because they're going to be the fastest items that you can deplete, and they don't require anything special to use. You can just deplete them while standing still. So just shine the flashlight in one spot, or just make sure you just read the map and then just constantly hold the read button. Once it depletes, in order to use Felix's Built to Last ability, what you want to do is you want to make sure you hide in a locker. If you manage to stay in the locker for about 30 seconds or so, your item should fully recharge, allowing you to deplete the same item multiple times. And you can keep doing this, so once you deplete it a second time, make sure you head back into the locker. Every time you use the perk, it's going to lose about 33% efficiency, so you can only really get about 3 to 4 uses out of every item or so. So just make sure you take advantage of this first item that you bring in. Just make sure you deplete it really quickly, step in the locker to recharge it, and then once you pop out, make sure you redeplete it, and then keep going back and forth, and this should give you a bunch of progress towards the achievement off of one item. Obviously, if you're going to be doing this with a toolbox or a health pack, it's going to be a little more complicated since there are going to be certain conditions where you have to use those items under. A toolbox, you need to make sure you use it on a hook or generator, and a health pack, you have to use it on an injured survivor. So those opportunities are going to be a little more spread far out than just being able to stay in one place with a flashlight or a map, for example. Nonetheless, once you have finally run out of uses for the Built to Last perk, it's time to move on to a different item. So another reason I recommend hitting up the basement as soon as possible is there should be a chest in one of the 3 corners, and then if you happen to open this, it should contain another item, and then what you can do is you can just switch out your depleted item that you can no longer recharge with this item, and then we should be able to get some more uses out of this particular item. So hopefully you get some pretty good luck on the draw. The lower the quality of the item, the better, since you can deplete it a lot quicker. So hopefully you get another flashlight or a map, or if you get a low-level toolbox, you should be able to deplete that super quickly. You are going to have to run around and actually try to find hooks or generators to deplete it on, but you should be able to get rid of it in about 3 to 4 full uses. And then once it's depleted, just make sure you abandon it and then look for another chest on the map. The other reason I recommend using Plunderer's Instinct is it should help you with this phase of the game, since you are able to see every chest on the map and where they are. Just make sure you go up to them and make sure you just loot them for their items, and you should be able to get more progress towards the achievement in one game that way. The lower the level you have Plunderer's Instinct leveled up should help out more, since you should get lower quality items out of these chests if you have a weaker version of the perk, so make sure you take advantage of that. But nonetheless, once you manage to get 30 full depletes, you should be good for the achievement. It is, of course, cumulative, and you can get this done over multiple games, so be a little patient with this one, but you should be able to get it in no time, and it's made all that much easier if you have a stockpile of throwaway items. So just make sure you burn all your flashlights and all of your maps, and then once you get the full 30 depletions, you should be good. So here we are a few games later, and we are going to be recharging and depleting our last flashlight. Once the perk runs out, we are going to move on, but this happened to be our last item that we needed to deplete. So there's our achievement. It's going to be for 10 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.